For the past 10 years, we've been proud to live life in our imaginations, using them to take the smallest objects and dream them into something bigger at any cost. All it takes is one exchange for us to fall in love with the world and your own life. We're the ones who will never pull you back. And we've never, ever been happier to keep calm and YouTube on for the next 10 years.
I have never, ever been happier!
Welcome to the Thrift Store Rundown, and so it begins. Throughout this entire week, we'll be doing a series of reviews specifically curated to celebrate 10 years of YouTubing. For the uninitiated, let me brief you on my YouTube story. I started in March of 2012 with Remote Control TV 1, then it got terminated in February 2016, and in July of that same year, I launched this YouTube channel. And this is where, for more than the latter half of the decade, I've been doing what I enjoy doing the most, bringing Hollywood home on a budget. Not only has this channel outlasted the first one, but even to my great amazement, it's been a lot more fun than the first one. So it's time to celebrate. Now, you know, around this little corner of YouTube, we don't even think about partying on an empty stomach. So, I called upon Food Network Magazine, which I often do for special occasions and for regular everyday scenarios. This is the Little Bites Big Fun issue from April 2019 with a special section. 100 ways to step up your game in the kitchen. And why 100? Well, this just so happens to be their 100th issue. And also, you can't have too many great kitchen hacks, practical and otherwise. I've already reviewed their 10th anniversary issue on my 22nd birthday, taped in Hoboken. This also features 3-ingredient deviled eggs, pictured here in rolls of 3x3. We also have a coconut layer cake and Easter ham reinvented. And as always, every issue of Food Network Magazine entices you to cook like a star. 5 of a great many of them, Ina Gotten, Bobby Flay, Guy Fieri, Michael Simon, and we, the pioneer woman Drummond. In all, 109 recipes, and all purchased for 99 cents. Now granted, here in the city of Patterson, we pay tax, so it's like $1.07, but hey, if you round that out to the nearest dollar, it appropriately would have been 100 pennies. Which means I would have bought this by a narrow margin of 1 cent. Be that as it may, and without further delay, let's get our bite-sized boogie on. However, we can't really be making these little bites, or bites of a bigger quantity or quality, until we learn these 100 ways to up your game in the kitchen. To celebrate their 100th issue, the Food Network Test Kitchen and many of their great on-camera personalities are dishing out 100 of their best tips and tricks. I'm going to highlight one apiece, and as much as I can, I'm going to condense these tips down to tips from the pros. So here we have Anne Burwell with a big fat fettuccine oil, which is good for drizzling onto salads, soups, and pastas. A good quality fettuccine oil like this, extra quality EVOO, as the great Rachel Ray would say, is key to brightening up flavors from the get-go upon taking your first bite. Anne Burwell has not been featured on her own accord on TSR as of yet, but don't worry, I have her cookbook, Cook Like a Rock Star, so her time is coming. That's in the flavorability tips section. In knife skills, Iron Chef and Emmy-winning co-host of ABC's The Chew, Michael Simon, suggests that you use your honing steel regularly. The tiny teeth of a knife's edge can get bent out of shape with use, and running the knife edge along the steel will push these teeth back into alignment. You should hone before and after you use your knife. Now that's for light touch-ups for your knife sharpness. If your knife sharpness is completely out of whack, well then you have to go to the electric sharpener or a manual sharpener, or set it out to get it professionally sharpened. A sharp knife is definitely a lot safer and easier to work with than a dull knife. For tool smarts, you can give everyday tools in the kitchen new purpose, like baking a pie in a cast iron skillet. For baking tips, Trisha Yearwood, who up until she joined the Food Network was the last person I would ever expect to be a baking expert, suggests that you use a cooking spray with flour. It works great in all pans, but it's especially good in bun pans. Cakes come out easily. For meat and seafood secrets, make a richer burger by cooking the patty as usual, then brushing both sides with melted butter, and then cooking for another few seconds. For party tricks, memorize this last-minute party app from Ina Garten's Barefoot in Paris cookbook, Rosemary Cashews. The recipe can be found here, and a sneak preview of her Barefoot in Paris cookbook can be found up here. She too has not been featured under her own spotlight on TSR, but don't worry, her time is coming too, with Barefoot Contessa at home. Here in the bar hacks section, you can make your own simple syrup. It's the best way to sweeten cocktails and mocktails for iced tea. Just bring equal parts sugar and water to a simmer, stirring to dissolve the sugar, let cool, and then cover and refrigerate. Finally, we have instant kitchen upgrades. Group your cooking essentials on a stylish tray, and they recommend 3 stylish trays, including one from their very own brand at Kohl's. That would be the Acacia Wood serving tray for $40. They also recommend the Coral Sage round tray for $45, and the most expensive, the Bleecker bar tray at $79 from Pottery Barn. Appropriately, we have here 100 recipes for butter lovers, in partnership with Lando Lakes. Butter really does make everything better. But of course, it's butter. We have here 10 flavored butters that you can make your own. We also have here simple butter basics, brief tips for using butter. We also have here butter sandwiches, buttery popcorns, buttery snack mixes, buttery pastas and potatoes, buttery sides, and candies. We also have here buttercream frostings for cupcakes and butter cookies. I don't know what your preference is, but my preference is butter is butter. And butter is everything. Party time! Fooled again! These snacks make the perfect April Fool's joke. They're actually desserts disguised as tea sandwiches. They use store-bought cake for the bread and made some simple look-alike fillings. For cucumber, it's cream cheese and finely chopped fresh mint. For smoked salmon, it's sandwiched in cream cheese frosting and thinly sliced fresh papaya between slices of chocolate pound cake, cut into rectangles. And finally, egg salad, mixing French vanilla pudding with mini marshmallows, diced pineapple, shredded coconut, and finely chopped green apple licorice between triangles of vanilla pound cake. Now for more savory affairs, take your pick. Turn fresh spring veggies and store-bought pastry into a simple, tasty tart. A few of them. This asparagus and beet tart, a carrot tart with cashew tahini sauce, which reminds me, several Food Network stars give you great recipes to use if you have a big abundance of carrots that you bought at the farmer's market or that you have growing in your own backyard. It is that time of year to start growing your own fruits and veggies in your own backyard, regardless of the weather. We also have a radish and smoked salmon tart. As promised on the cover, have a look at these delicious little devils. Deviled eggs are a guaranteed party hit, and all you'll need for these is a carton of eggs plus 3 ingredients. Now they give you the basic recipe for making deviled eggs, and from there, the sky's the limit with these variations. All of them 3 ingredients, like Maryland crab, mayonnaise, crab, and Old Bay. We also have here carbonara, that's mayo with parmesan and pancetta. Korean, that's mayonnaise with kimchi and toasted sesame seeds. Greek, tzatziki, baby arugula, roasted red peppers, Parisian, Dijonnaise, ham, and cornichons, spanning the entire world of deviled egg deliciousness. They just look and sound so sinfully tantalizing. And finally, for this issue, we have the perfect roast. Ina Garten tells us how one dinner party completely changed the way she cooks. Back then, she wanted to be a little bit like the fanciest Parisian chef in town. She wanted recipes with 1,000,000 ingredients and as many steps, if not more, to give her some well-earned street cred. But now, it's all about keeping things simple and easy. Like in the case of this panko-crusted rack of lamb. It comes out absolutely delicious, perfect every time, and she doesn't have to spend days in the kitchen before her guests arrive, perfecting that awesome-looking centerpiece of any great celebration meal. Hey, it takes 1.5 hours to make start to finish with an active cook time of 30 minutes, and it can serve 6 people easily. Remember when I reviewed one of my very first issues of Food Network magazine? And here you see the Stars canned recipes. I told you that when I reorganized my cookbook corner, and it took a while, many years to do so, but I did it in the span of 4 hours. I told you that once that cookbook corner was reorganized and I had easier access to my Food Network magazine issues of all shapes and sizes, that I would start featuring them on a regular basis. Well, as you know now, that time has come. So I want to know, would you be up for a bi-weekly Food Network magazine feature around here, like every other Friday we're called Food Network Fridays? Let me know in the comments. In the meantime, 5 out of 5 claps. I thought about upping it to 10 for this special series, but you know what? That would be violating my own rules. We have to give every item that I buy here fair treatment. And so it gets 5 claps because it really is a top tier magazine that you're definitely gonna want to keep around. Little bites for such a little price, equaling big fun for an equally big celebration. Which will continue tomorrow with, I got it in the back, one of Food Network's former rating queens. Waits away every day. This is her 10th anniversary issue, celebrating a decade of food and fun. However, this 10th anniversary issue comes at a much steeper price inside. And what steeper price? You'll find out. That's for tomorrow's review, which means that does it for this one. And let me tell you, I will continue to keep that promise of highlighting more Food Network magazines in the future, because it is a promise that's way too delicious not to keep. In the meantime, everybody, thanks so much for watching. Hang 10, and I'll see you tomorrow on the Thrift side.